It's a Tuesday morning, it's a Tuesday afternoon actually, and I'm just here reminiscing over the 1 hour 50 minutes and 45 seconds video of the Africa CEO Summit that held in Rwanda, where Mr. Aliko Dangote was a panelist, and the man in charge of Total Energy in the person of Mr. Patrick Poyane was also a panelist, and that was anchored by Mr. Larry Modowo of the CNN. Pardon me, brother, if I actually didn't pronounce it the way I should. Then we had someone like the president of Rwanda also being on that panel of what you call co-debaters or whatever you'd want. Then the president of Kenya, and then the president of Mozambique. I listened to them talk about Africa, and for some reasons I seem to start seeing reasons to still have hope in what is possible for us in Africa. But then I was also touched, when Aliko was saying something. Aliko Dangote is one of the richest men in the world at this time, one of the richest in Africa. But despite his wealth, do you know that Aliko needs 35 passports to travel around Africa? Despite the wealth the man controls, despite the volume of investment is taken around Africa, then it goes to tell you how challenged we are as a continent. Do you know that it is more challenging for me to travel around Africa than for me to travel to the UK as a Nigerian based in Nigeria? Does it also occur to you that intra-African trade is at below 16%, while intra-European trade is at 70%, intra-Asia is at 60 or thereabouts. Intra-East African countries trade is at about 28%. I don't know what ECOWAS actually does with respect to intra-national trades. This goes to tell you that the problem of Africa has to do with the African people. But unfortunately, again, the African people that I know seem so complacent. We are so used to complaining and making noise that we've refused to stand up and hold our leaders accountable. So let's come down to Nigeria. Nigeria is my country, a country I love so much and I have so much hopes for. Irrespective of our harsh realities, we cannot just fold our hands and watch as our nation dies down. The political class don't care about you. Whether you want to accept it or not is the fact. All they want to do is to use you to get to power. When they get to power, then you'll understand they don't have interest at heart. So who should stand up for the Nigerian people? The Nigerian people have to stand up for themselves. You as a citizen, you need to, in all objectivity, hold your leader accountable, hold your governor, hold your House of Representative member, your senator, your House of Assembly member, the guys in the local government administration. We need to hold every one of them accountable. Over time, we keep on making excuses for these guys and they keep on using us. They tell you about where you come from, the ethnic game and the rest of them. I'm not even interested in all that. I'm more interested in how are we making sure that we have power in Nigeria? How is it that we can feed ourselves? How can we use our agricultural products and process them and make more money for ourselves so that we can live in Nigeria and thrive? The truth is that every one of us, we are choosing the easier alternative, which is to leave the country. And nobody is spared though. I'm not also acting as though I don't want a better life. But the truth is this. The man from Europe cannot come to build Africa the way you want to build Africa as an African. When Tony Elumelu was talking about when Barclays wanted to buy over some banks in Nigeria, and then how they wooed him to come in and the rest of them. He said that he's an African. He understands the African market more than the guys from the Barclays. So that he was going to build this branch. So that was when he bought that Standard Trust Bank or thereabouts. And then when Standard Trust Bank bought UBA actually. So at the end of the day, what has Tony been able to do? Tony has done so much for Africa. Now I'm asking you, your governor is barely doing anything and you are here giving excuses. Your president, what are the policies our presidents are making for our businesses to thrive? What are we doing about power? Are we having enough conversation about power generation? Yet we are talking about building hotels. Are we even talking about making use of our agricultural resources, processing them and gaining a lot of money from them? We're not having these conversations. We're interested in party affiliations and the rest of them, which is modern and old. If Africa must develop